Aramusha is the latest addition to the samurai faction, and to be honest, he's pretty fucking shit. I'm not gonna lie, in high level play, this character just doesn't stack up. He's got an infinite chain that's more predictable than Berserker. The damage is just far less than what Berserker gets as well, so his infinite chain isn't as good, and it's getting much less damage. Plus, he's buggy as fuck. His full guard is one of the most useless yet most important things in his kit. And for the most part, he's honestly more frustrating to play than ever. I love it, it's just, it feels more like a chore. The button commands are just so, you have to be so rapid about them. The full guard light attacks as well. I'm gonna return to spawn to actually show you as soon as I'm done here. Honestly feels like a slightly better Kensei, except he's only better in some aspects. In other aspects he's actually worse. Like his guard break punish. His parry punish off anything is actually worthless attack off it. Now this confuses me because Aramusha has arguably the fastest heavy attacks in the game, and yet he doesn't get it off guard break. It's stupid to me. How does someone like Shaman, who has heavy attacks that are much slower and much more reactable than Aramusha, who has heavy attacks that are like the fucking light attacks of Warden, are pretty damn fast. Especially under pressure mixed in with light attacks, they seem very fast. Now to me, these heavy attacks actually seem quite normal speed because I've been playing with Aramusha for a long time. And by long time, I mean got him to Reputation 3 and it took me about 3 days, so... There's just one that make him weak, and first off we're going to talk about his his full guard, or his all guard, sorry, which is called blockade. I hate that word. I think that's such a tongue twister to me. Blade blockade. Right, so first off we're gonna take a look into it here. As you can see, hold down on the right stick, you'll do this. Little animation. I predicted that would be the animation, except it's upside down. I thought it would be the other way around, but apparently not, so I also didn't predict that it was gonna be a reactable thing. I thought it would be something that you could hold like Warlord. However, it's not, so... off this move you can do one of 4 things. You can do a light attack, which will stun your enemy and do very minor damage. You can do a heavy attack off top guard, which will most of the time guarantee a heavy. You can do heavy attack off either of the side guards and do an unblockable, which with hyper armor, it's pretty damn slow, does get parried quite often. Or you can press the guard break button to do a kick, which if you get a wall splat, that's a free heavy and light attack, so it's a decent punish. And the kick does have some decent range to it. I'd say it's about the same range as a Shaman's normal throw. Now the problem with the blade blockade is that it's too slow on reaction. Trying to do this with light attacks on Shaman or Shinobi or Peacekeeper, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to preemptively predict when they're going to do it and then activate blade blockade, because otherwise it's going to be too slow. So first off, I think this thing should definitely stay a reactable tool, but it should be more instantaneous. The animation should be much faster than that, if it's going to be effective at all. Because the only way this is going to be useful in high levels is against light attacks, because people are just going to feign all their heavies once they see an Aramusha and they'll spam lights. Therefore, the blade blockade all guard is therefore useless unless you can do it against light attacks, but against most characters, it's too slow. This isn't something that I think is over dramatic. I don't want a massive damage boost to any of the moves. I don't want like a range increase to the kick. I simply want the blade blockade animation to be faster. Of course, this may not seem like a problem on PC because lights are slower, but on console, lights are too fast and this thing's too slow to react to it. It's supposed to be a reactable tool, not a pre-prediction tool. You're not supposed to predict when your opponents are doing light attacks and then activate the all guard. So that's the top heavy that's normally guaranteed. Some heroes actually can react to it though. If this captain actually kills the warden, god damn it. And there's the light attack I was talking to you about. It is lethal. Like I said, it does do a small bit of damage. It does blind as well, and it does open up a decent mix-up. Now the problem with it is that the top heavy, like I said, from all guard isn't always guaranteed, and to me that should be guaranteed. It should always be guaranteed. It should be it shouldn't be reactable at all. I have the same problem with the Warlord's counter slash off his all guard. Even if people do fall for the all guard, they can still sometimes react to the slash, and me personally as well, I've always been able to react to the slash and block it, and this shouldn't be a thing. The animation should be the recovery time from the animation should be much longer. I've also seen characters dodge the kick. I've seen Valkyrie dodge it with her dodge lights. I've seen Kensei dodge it with his swift strike. I've definitely seen Aramusha dodge it with his zone attack, surprisingly, because if you actually see his zone attack, it moves into the side a bit. I've seen Aramusha dodge it. I've also seen Shaman dodge it with her dodge heavy at all. This thing is way too high risk and way too small a reward. It's ridiculous. It's like Shinobi's kick if you didn't get a free heavy off it. It's risky because they can hit you during the hyper armor and you're still taking damage, but you don't get any damage out of it anyway. None of your damage is guaranteed. And to me, I'm used to the whole high risk, high reward play style. I main Shinobi. I have very high risk and very high reward, which is why Aramusha appeals to me. I love the fact that one small mistake and I could be screwed. Except with Aramusha, it's not that case because I have more health. I can show off the kick here, hang on. Come on, throw a swing. There we go. Kick, wall splat, top heavy, light. That's your punish. Parry punish, he doesn't, is that a stamina punish? He should get 2 free heavies, although sometimes the first heavy misses, which is a shame. I'm pretty sure it's only because of the top heavy. I'm pretty sure if you do a side heavy, it should hit. So never start off with top, always go side then top. Because if you go top first, the first hit will miss. So another thing is his overall predictability. You have to go from side to top. You can't go from side to side, otherwise that's a finisher, and it ends the chain. And the finisher is much slower, as you can see. It's a much slower attack, which means it's easier to parry and easier to deflect, punish, dodge, anything basically. And I'm just having a problem here. That if I start off from the side, they know I'm going top, or at least there's a very high chance, and if I go to the other side for a finisher, they have more than enough time to react to that. This is where Aramusha's effective chains come in. You can go for a finisher, or soft feint it into a light. Thing is, you can only soft feint off finishers. And this is what I don't like. I mean, sure, you can, instead of going for a finisher, go for a light. That's technically soft feinting it. However, that means that they have a chance of parrying the first heavy. Or if they don't, they know I'm going top with a light. So they know if they don't see the chain finisher animation, I'm going top no matter what I'm doing. This is why his mix-ups aren't very good, because they're predictable. They're more predictable than Kensei, because at least Kensei's movements aren't relied on an infinite chain that has to go a specific way. This is why I think Aramusha's infinite chain should be the same as Berserker's. Except he should keep the soft feint ability. This is but a minor change, because like I said, it's not really its moveset that's the problem, it's the way it's executed. And also, there's most definitely a bug in his light attacks. I went into an AI match, and even some PvP matches, and I've definitely been guard broken out of a light attack, and it's not like, just before I press the button, it's during the damn animation, like much after I press the actual light attack button. Yeah, you can definitely get guard broken out of your lights as Aramusha. And this is just what I find stupid. How could you get this wrong? How could this be the only character that you allow to be guard broken out of a light attack? That should not be a thing that happens. And in fact, I was in a duel match where both me and my opponent were less than a bar each. Or I was on 1 bar. He was like literally 1 hit from death. And I threw a light attack, and he guard breaks me out of it and gets a heavy and kills me. Now, in my opinion, I was robbed of that fight, and it made me a little angry. It made me a little angry. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I guess I am gonna lie. It made me very angry. Very angry to the point where I threw my controller onto the desk. And to be honest, at that point, I just hated him. I still hate him, but I hate to love him because I just love Aramusha. I think his playstyle suits me. It's everything that I hated in Berserker, and that's gone. Aramusha is Berserker without all the things I hated. The things I hated about Berserker was his brute force playstyle. See, don't get a free guard break off. Don't get a free heavy off guard break, sorry. Now fortunately, one thing they did get right is the full guard actually covers attacks from behind you, as I'll demonstrate. You can actually soft feint that unblockable from full guard. Let's finish this fight up. So you can actually bait the parry. All of that is very good. It's just the few minor problems that have really let Aramusha down here. First off, the damage off anything full guard does need to be increased slightly, I feel. Apart from the top heavy, because the top heavy is a guaranteed attack, that should stay the same. Well, like I said, it's most of the time it's guaranteed. So first off, that should be fixed to where it's always guaranteed on every character. The side unblockables need to be need to do far more damage, even if that means reducing the damage of soft feint lights, because it should reward you for getting those. Because later down the line, these unblockables from the full guard, they're gonna get parried every time. I'm not gonna lie, they're gonna get parried so much, especially in 1v1 duels. 1v1 duels is where they're gonna be most parried. Perhaps in a team fight, they'll be less parried, but as for aesthetic looks, Aramusha is a very nice character. You can see I'm only rep 3, and these swords are really nice. I really like these swords, and I like the coat. I'm not a big fan of the coat, actually. I'm actually more of a fan of the jacket, the normal jacket. I'm not really a fan of the raincoat. I like the default jacket more, to be honest. Although I don't know, maybe this will grow on me. It does look, I think it's the arms that match it, they look very nice. I don't think they're from the same set, but to me they match. And they just look real nice. I really like the hat. I like how instead of just a broken piece of the hat, it's actually got like designed a little design window through it. And the fact that it's got a mask, it reminds me a lot more like Kensei now. The fact that it's got a mask. Also, I really like the cute ribbon on the back. That's sick. It actually has physics to it. Not bad. More time. Here's the mix-up I was talking about. You can blind them with that. Get a guard break, hit him against the wall. Another thing I just don't like is that the only way to do the kick is off all guard. I really think that should be. I really think you should have access to that move a different way, as well as having it from all guard. I think you should have it maybe a dodge forwards guard break, where similar to like Conqueror Shield Bash, where if you dodge forwards and press square or X or whatever the guard break button is on PC, then you'll do a Shield Bash, but with Aramusha he'll just do the kick. Considering how strong Shaman is, Aramusha is just nowhere near the strength of Shaman, and that, you know what, that's just basic game design. You know, some characters are going to be far more viable and far stronger in the community's eyes than others. And of course this can always be overshadowed by player skill. So, a good Shaman might not be as good as a masterful Aramusha, but that's not the point. But to be honest, in the eyes of the community, Aramusha is really weak, and I feel like even a masterful Aramusha still isn't going to be as viable as even an average Shaman. Just because Shaman's got pretty much rivaled, if not better feint abilities than Aramusha, and I don't think anyone should have better feint ability than Aramusha. Aramusha should be the king of feints. I mean, he is pretty much seen as a better Kensei, even though he's designed over Kensei Zerk. This character is literally designed over the two best feinters in the game, Kensei and Berserker. He should be the best at feints in the entire game, yet Shaman I feel is much better feints than he does. Shaman overall has just much better mix-ups. The fact that she can soft feint her first heavy and it doesn't have to be the second. But yet Aramusha has to wait to the second heavy to soft feint. He can't soft feint his first. Also, his feats are really weak. About the strongest feat he has is Sharpen Blade and Arrow Storm. And Arrow Storm is probably the weakest fourth feat I've ever seen. It's completely pointless when there are other feats such as, like, you know, Catapult or Meteor or whatever it's called, which is just far better, far faster, more impactful. Even Highlander's fucking Javelin spikes are better than his, just because they come out faster and cover a wider spread. Yeah, sure, if you're able to trap someone, Arrow Storm is good, but I mean, Rocksteady is his only unique one, Rocksteady. If you don't know what Rocksteady is or what it does, it's basically a feat that stops him from being parried. Or, you know, no, it doesn't actually. It doesn't stop him from being parried. It's a feat that stops him from being unbalanced or thrown against or wall splatted, basically. It means you can't throw him against the wall and you can't throw him on the ground even if he's out of stamina. Now, theoretically, this is a very good feat because, for one, if you're mirror matching another Aramusha, it makes pretty much most of his attacks useless because most of Aramusha's attacks are reliant on wall splatting. But in most situations, I don't ever use Rocksteady. I mostly use Juggernaut, just so I can get my damn infinite chain on someone who's too impatient or trying to counterattack too hard. Like a Peacekeeper, when she does the dodge heavy light stab, I'll just normally just absorb it. Aramusha, to me, feels like a pre-patch Raider, where he's just really weak and he doesn't have any good openers. Aramusha's only good opener is this sprint attack. Or he can do it while locked on and he can feint it, like here. But like I said, most people don't fall for that. So that's just my rant or review over Aramusha. I was really anticipating this character, probably one of my most anticipated characters since Shinobi. But in the end, it turns out he's just super weak, super unviable, and completely overshadowed by Shaman. I really hope the developers consider buffing him. They're definitely better consider fixing some of these bugs, like not getting the guaranteed top heavy off full guard sometimes, and getting guard broken out of my damn light attacks, which makes me very, very angry. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little rant, or whatever this is. I just hope Ubisoft buffs him, or at least, at the very least, fixes him, so he's at least more viable. And it doesn't get fucked over because someone guard broke me out of my light attacks.